Hi, brothers and sisters. Father Stephen here. As we move further into our Easter season, I'd like to reflect on how we live Easter in our lives. It's pretty obvious how we live Lent in our daily lives, and not just in that one season of the year where we're trying to root sin out of our lives continually. But how do we live our Easter joy? How do we live the resurrection? And I think a lot of that comes from our closeness with Christ, living daily with Him. And not just in a way where we consider how we failed Him, but when we look at how we live in His grace, where we recognize the blessings in our lives that come from Him, when we live in the joy that comes from God. And a lot of that comes from experiencing that conversion that comes from Lent and thanking God for the grace of being able to live lives free from sins that we've been slaves to in the past, and rejoicing that God has forgiven us and embraces us and invites us into a life of love. And I know I've experienced that powerfully in my life in certain instances, but it's important for us to not focus overly on those particular instances where we found that closeness with God. Certainly we cherish those and thank God for them, but we also recognize that God's not just with us in the big, powerful moments, but He's also with us in the little moments. And sometimes it's important for us to just enjoy the little things, recognizing that God is there with us, showing us these little glimpses of the resurrection in our lives. Sometimes it's the simple pleasure of sitting outside on a beautiful day and enjoying nature, or playing with your kids or grandkids and simply enjoying the blessings of God's gift in your life. That's how we truly live the Easter joy in our lives, by appreciating what God has given to us and asking Him for the grace to respond appropriately, the grace to enjoy His goodness, and not simply worry about what's the next thing that might go wrong, but to truly recognize that God has things under control, as shown to us by Christ's passion, death, and resurrection. If He can have victory over such great things, surely He has victory over the little things too. And when we live in that victory, confident that He will bring us salvation in every moment, then we're truly living in the resurrection. Then we're truly living that path, that journey with God along His ways. We're living a life of communion, a life of Easter joy. So I hope you take some time this week to reflect on those joys in your life, to reflect on the presence of God, the goodness of God that you've received, even in the midst of trying times, because those are signs that God is present and is working for your good and the good of all mankind. May God bless you.